Hello there. What is going on, everyone? Today we are looking at the first scenario kit for Dungeons & Dragons Onslaught. Now, I gotta tell you, I start all of my videos with hello there, but I was really tempted to start this one out with behold, because the beholder. But maybe that would have been a little too corny. I don't know, but we're gonna take a look at this. If you guys aren't familiar with Dungeons and Dragons Onslaught, this is a really cool skirmish miniatures game. Pre-painted miniatures. It's multiple scenarios plus just head-to-head PvP. In short, think of it as you build a party or a team out of Dungeons and Dragons characters. And, like a fighter, a priest, a mage, a thief, or something like that. You build a whole team. You go into a dungeon, and there's monsters, right? There's treasure, but there's another team. Your opponent has also built their own team, and they're also trying to get into the dungeon. And they're not only trying to get the treasure first, they're also trying to kill you. And you don't want them to get the treasure first, so you got to kill them. But then there's monsters too, depending on the scenario you're playing, right? So it's this really cool, like me versus you versus a race for the treasure versus kill you versus also kill the monsters, and whoever makes it out alive first wins. Very cool game. Like that's like my synopsis of Dungeons and Dragons Onslaught in a nutshell. And WizKids was really cool and sent this out to me so I could take a look at this scenario kit for you guys. We've never looked at a scenario kit before, although there are definitely lots of scenarios in the core box. But if you exhaust those and you want to do some more stuff, you can definitely check that out. So again, big thanks to WizKids. While I'm getting this box open, you can check out those links that are in the description below if you want to subscribe. I'd love to have you guys stick around. We do a lot of tabletop content, a lot of gaming, a lot of tabletop gaming, a lot of sci-fi and Star Wars and geeky stuff. And this is in some nice protective wrap in here. So yeah, we'd love to have you guys stick around for all of that good stuff. Plus, there's helpful links. You can head over to Crabbok.com and check out all of that stuff. And we've got some beautiful stuff here. Oh man, we got rules, and we've got lots of cardboard, and we got look at that. Okay. We got a lot of stuff. Let's see. I think we're gonna start with the rules and everything first. Oh my goodness, we've got so much, right? All right, so let's see. We've got some scenario. Oh, there's a lot of scenarios in here. We've got 4 different pieces of paper for scenarios. So I'm gonna set those to the side. We've got an insert, a combat dial in here. And okay, nothing else to that one. We've got cards. I believe there's new loot cards in here, which is going to be really interesting. We've got our combat dial. We've got beholder. Oh, double-sided beholder tyrant. Okay, we'll get closer at that here in a minute. Well, we've got some other mobs. We've got a reference card for eye rays. Oh, okay. I'm gonna check more about that in here in a minute. We've got some more monster. Wow, lots of monsters in here, right? Look at this, ogres and great boulette, the voracious ogre. Okay, and then we've got some cardboard. Let's take a closer look at everything. All right, so the Benefactor is a pretty cool scenario. So on the back of the first scenario, you've got scenario 1 into the fray. On the back of that, we've got sort of an introduction to what this entire pack is. Now, this is basically a companion to the core set. It's basically a series of missions. You can play 1 through 6 missions, and you can, ideally, you should play them sequentially and kind of go through the campaign and the story that it's telling you. But it does have some suggestions if you want to jump in to the middle. There are some new rules with impassable terrain, moving toward and away, and reputation. And basically, you're going to gain reputation points throughout the course of the game. They talk a little bit about this particular card. This is meant to go with the Bullet or the Ogre, or the super versions of those. Since these are just harder cardboard now, they don't have those dials in the center of them anymore. And this is probably a new way forward for them to do multiple monsters without having to give them all, the extra interior stuff. And they note that even though the Beholder does, you know, they wanted to give you one of these for these guys. I think presumably at this point it means you're not going to have to fight all three in the same exact mission. This is enough for you to support having potentially a beholder and an ogre or a boulette, you know, one at a time, but not necessarily all three at once. So that's something there. The components that are going to be on the cardboard. We've got scenario tokens, item charges. There's new items. We're going to look at these here in a minute. These completely replace the item deck. So you're going to want to not to mix up your cards, but they will still correspond to the existing item symbols. So for all of the different symbols that you would get with the tokens, you're going to have a new item card to go along with that matches up and is more appropriate for this particular scenario. One of the things that you're going to notice is you're going to have items that have charges, and you have these little charge tokens here that items can be used a certain number of times. We have an enemy or an eye raise card we'll talk about when we look at the beholder. We've got a golden chest that's going to give you 2 items instead of 1. We got some new terrain in here, and it's pretty cool. If you don't want to play through all the scenarios, it tells you can like jump into scenario 5 or 6 or whatever, and give yourself that many reputation according to the scenario number. Like if you wanted to just do a standalone mission, and I think that's nice because this is a game that allows for campaign style play, but also just, hey, I just want to play one mission. Let's just play. You know, we only have enough time for one game, and maybe we don't want to necessarily commit to playing a whole campaign just to get to, like, you know, mission 5 or mission 6 or something like that. So you have definitely some options here. So that's pretty cool. We have we've got our scenario 1. I don't want to give too many spoilers for it, but we have scenario 1. It's going to be using, you know, some of the monsters. These are written out just like the same types of scenarios that you are going to see if you played the core set. They give the startup guides where you're going to be placing things. All of that information is going to be in here. And so we got scenario 2 there. We've got scenario 3 on the back of all of this, and all of this is going to fold up together nice and neatly and store back in the box if you want, or in wherever else you're going to store it. We've got 6 scenarios in total. 5 is here. 4 is here, and it's pretty interesting. Like basically, you get a letter from a mysterious benefactor telling you to go get some treasure, and there's some there's some monsters that are kind of in the way, and somebody wants you to go get some treasure for them. It should be easy, but apparently it's not going to be as easy as you think. And this is the scenario 6. Now on the back of this, we have our credits, and we also have some recommended miniatures. Now, our credits page that I want to draw your attention to, because you're going to see some familiar names here. We've got Nicholas Yu, Travis Severance, and longtime friend of the channel, Luke Eddy, who worked on this. So thanks to everybody who helped bring this to life. Of course, everybody else here as well: Richard Dadisman, Gong Studios, John Schaefer, Amy Ellis, and Alex Davey, and then all your playtesters are over here. Some of those are also friends of the channel too. So pretty cool seeing a lot of familiar names, folks that helped work on this as well. Cool stuff. Let's look on the other side of this too. This is a pretty cool option here. Now, there are suggested miniatures for some of the monsters in here that do not come with miniatures. Now, all things being fair, you know, this is a pack that is not coming with any miniatures, and so while this is a miniatures-based game, you don't get these miniatures in the pack. And I was expecting at least cardboard, so there is not miniatures or cardboard replacements for the miniatures in here. So you'll either have to proxy them with other models from the core set, which for most of them, there are already models in the core set that you can use. The Beholder, I guess you could probably proxy him for the dragon from the core set if you don't have a Beholder miniature, or just put a piece of cardboard or something to occupy 4 spaces, because according to the deployment guides, it does appear to be he does appear to be a 4 square. You know, you can see like you've got like the small single squares for the small guys, and then you've got big stuff for the other for the bigger monsters. So it won't be that hard to just remember that they occupy 4 squares. But I do think it's it would have been nice if they would have included a cardboard piece to kind of proxy the some of your larger miniatures. But at the same time, I also understand that it's a business and they got to try and sell the models and the miniatures. I'm probably going to go pick up a beholder, to be honest with you. I definitely, I really do. And again, they're not paying me to say this is not a paid video, folks. WizKids is being cool and like they definitely sent this out to me so I could review, but there's no agreement for me to say that it's wonderful or great or whatever. I'm just being honest with you. I have definitely bought some WizKids stuff from the unpainted lines. I really like those. My Deep Space Nine is from the Star Trek version of that stuff, so it's like, again, it's cool stuff. I'm definitely, and I've picked up plenty of these for D&D campaigns as well. So I'm definitely going to at least pick up the Beholder because this will be a really fun. Honestly, Beholder would be really fun to paint, right? So you might want to, if you're watching this, you may want to pick up a Beholder now before this comes out, and everybody picks them up and then they sell out. So that's just some thoughts. Or you can use cardboard or even a piece of paper, to proxy it for yourself if you want to do that. Either way, I think it's cool that there's options, right? You don't have to, you can still get this pack with, without having to pay for miniatures. And then you have the option of getting the miniatures if you want to do that. So I think it's a good way to do it. I would have liked, however, cardboard. But that being said, let's look at the cardboard that they did give us. All right, so we've got four arrays of cardboard here. We're going to have numbered scenario tokens. And these are going to be referenced for a number of different things. They'll be scenario dependent. So basically, I think it's 10 of them. They're numbered 1 through 10. So just keep that in mind. We've got some different terrain. We've got some damage, charge tokens, and like traps as well, which are kind of cool. We've got some more condition stuff, more scenario tokens, more conditions, more scenario tokens, more terrain. The chests have a double-sided, so the gilded chest that gives, you draw 4 and keep 2 as opposed to drawing 3 and keeping 1. These are going to be scenario dependent, so you have those, and there's going to be 4 of them, and then some extra tokens, and then of course the bottomless pits. These are all double-sided too, so sometimes if you're looking for where's the pit? It might be on the other side of the rubble, right? So those are the cardboard that we got in here. We also have some new monster cards. So we've got Kobold Duelist. Now, for kobolds, you can use an existing kobold in the core set. For a lot of that type of stuff, there's some different versions of existing miniatures, which again I think is very smart. I think a lot of the way that this is designed is very smart. So here's the Kobold Leader, and then the Kobold Duelist. We have a Gnoll Skirmisher here, and a Gnoll Taskmaster, and then a Bugbear Ambusher right here, along with a Bugbear Brawler. So these all have models you can use in the core set. We also have some larger beasties. So we've got the Ogre here. He's beefy with 23 health, 3 speed, 12 armor. He's got the club attack, critical to daze somebody. He's stubborn. He gets -2 against reactive abilities, and he's got thick hide. When he suffers damage from beyond range 1, it's reduced by 1. So you kind of get up close to really hurt this guy. It says reduced by 1. It doesn't say to a minimum of 1. This is thicker cardboard. It's just 1 sheet, so it's not like the other ones. We talked about that already. Then we've got a Voracious Ogre on the other side. He's going to be a little bit tough. He becomes bloodied when he gets to 15. 31 health to start, so he's going to be tough. And he gets extra damage when he gets. So he's easier to hit, but he hits stronger. So you don't want to make him too mad. We've got the Bullet over here, who's going to have 17 health, 15 AC, speed 3. Has got a claws and a bite attack. Critical gives bleeding. The chitinous plate here is +2 melee, +2 armor against melee attacks. So kind of different than the Ogre. The Bullet kind of prefers you to be you want to be at range because your melee attacks are going to have a harder time getting through that plate. And then a claw swipe. After adjacent enemy moves, if it's no longer adjacent, make a claws attack targeting only that enemy. So I know that's every time. So that's nasty. And then we've got the Great Bullet, who is got a crashing leap ability also. Gets bloodied at 12, and then they lose the crashing leap. So one thing you're going to notice here is you definitely want to try and get these guys, well, maybe not the Voracious Ogre, but for the rest of them, I think you want to get them into the red as soon as possible. And again, for both the Bullet and the Voracious Ogre, you're going to be using this to track their health and their stats. When you eventually get to the Beholder here, we've got a nasty Beholder here who has got 25 health, 16 AC, 3 speed, and has a bite and eye raise, anti-magic, and the opportunity attack, which will make a bite attack. Now the eye raise is really cool because eye raise is a range 2 attack. Enemies at range 1 through 7 get +5 to hit. When a target is a hit, use the eye raise reference card to determine the effects. Critical +1. Oh wait, no, I'm sorry. It's not a range 2 attack. I'm sorry, that's an AOE attack at enemies range 1 to 7. Wow. Okay, so yeah. This is kind of that's a nasty attack. So what happens when they're hit? You're gonna use those scenario cards, and you're gonna pull one, and you're gonna have this eyes reference card, and so it's whichever one you pull, that's what the attack does. So some of them are damaged, but some of them are not damaged. Like if you pull the 5, it's gonna be 3 damage, but with the critical of it being +1, so if you rolled a 19 or 20, then it's gonna be 4. And if you rolled a 9, or if you pull a 9 or a 10, it's going to be 4 damage, and then they might lose half their items, or maybe all of their items. 10 is going to be 5 damage, and a critical of 15 through 20 for an extra damage. So really, really strong damage attacks, but sometimes it'll do other things like just stun them, or daze them, or weaken them, or make them attack somebody that's friendly. So all kinds of really cool, move them 5 spaces away. All kinds of nasty different stuff. Cool thing is once you pull one of these, it comes out of the pile. So you can't pull the same one twice. Until they're all gone, then you can shuffle them and then start over again. So I just think that that's a brilliant and beautiful, fun way to have like a boss fight. That just doing all these random encounters or random effects to you. It's very much like a Beholder too, because they can do all kinds of crazy stuff. So I thought that that's really groovy, really fun, and it adds a little chaos and randomness. But the Beholder has another side to it as well. We've got a Beholder Tyrant, 39 health to start on this one. It's just crazy. He's also got the bite, the eye raise, anti-magic, flight, indomitable, immune to dazed, root, and stunned, has the opportunity attack. Anti-magic is a nasty one too. Let's talk about anti-magic a little bit. So whenever they suffer damage from a magic or divine attack, it's reduced by 1. They can't be the target of magic or divine charge abilities. So like all the good stuff you can't do, all the special stuff they can't even be targeted with. So you're gonna have to just kind of straight up attack this guy with an awful lot. Now the cool thing is, when you get them to the red, once you get him down to 13 health or less, then he loses anti-magic. So you're going to have to at least do the first, well, more than half. I was going to say, it's definitely not half. Like on this one, it's about half. But the Beholder Tyrant is, almost 40 health to start. You're going to have to get him down to 13 or less before he loses anti-magic. So save your big stuff for that home stretch on fighting the Beholder. Let's look at the new loot cards. Okay, so I'm going to be looking at these with you for the first time. I have not even looked at them yet, except for this one that's on the back, because that was there. That's the Blood Slick Battle Axe. And it's got a critical of 18 to 20. You and the target came bleeding. Ooh, that's nasty. Oh, and that's a little bit extra for barbarians or clerics. Oh, so it's got some class-specific stuff on there. We got the Oathsworn Bow, which is the bow there. And that's going to do range 2 to 6, ignores cover, +5 to hit, or +6 for druid or ranger, 3 against monsters. So this is going to be really good in this campaign, but less good against other players. Okay, cool. I like that they're doing some class-specific stuff. That's pretty cool. We've got a Talisman of Energy for the Ankh there. During the end phase, reduce one of your cooldowns by an additional 1, or 2 by an additional 1 for each monk, sorcerer, or wizard. Oh, wow. That's really cool. We've got the Winged Cuirass, movement and extra armor for certain classes, and they can ignore the effects of elevated, hindering, or impassable terrain. Oh, it's winged, so you get to You have the Bulwark Shield, +1, +2 for Cleric or Fighter. So I like it. It's stuff specific, but anybody can use it. Fighters may treat this as an accessory instead of an armor. Oh, so you can have, because it's an armor, so you can have 2 armors. Oh, that's really nice. And it's got shove. We've got the Armor of Warding. It's, again, +1 or +2 for Paladin or Fighter. Or just damage you take from Magic and Divine to a minimum of 1. It makes you a little bit like a Beholder, right? We've got the Conjured Armor, +3 or +5 for Sorcerer, Wizard, or Warlock. Destroy this card after you suffer damage from an attack. We've got the Sword of Infinite Screams. Ow, no! That's not the sound that it makes. I don't think so. That sounds more like Elmo. That's the Sword of Infinite Elmos, which maybe that'll show up in another expansion. Maybe nunchucks. All right, if I had my wish, I'd wish for nunchucks instead of a sword. All right, Sword of Infinite Screams. It's going to be a +6 to hit, 7 for Barbarian or Fighter, 2 damage. Critical is 18 to 20 for this one, plus a damage. Then you're going to roll another one, and if you get an 18 to 20, it's going to +1 damage and roll again. Oh my gosh. Wow. Oh, so you could potentially keep doing more and more damage. I'm assuming for if you keep rolling 18 or 20s, you're going to get more and more damage. That's nuts. That's crazy. I love it. Or it may just cap out at an extra 3, because if you're rolling again, then you're going to obviously do another 18 or 20. Wow. All right, we've got a Singing Sword here. It's +6 to hit, 2 damage. Critical 18 for Bard or Paladin. Choose one. Each enemy at range 1 to 3 suffers a damage, or each friendly at 0 to 3 heal 1. Oh, I like the healing on the weapon. Oh, that's awesome. Okay, we've got the Vicious Shortbow. And that's going to be range 2 to 4. Extra range for Bard or Rogue, +6 to hit, 2 damage, and it'll slow them. But the critical is 16 to 20 there, so that's cool. We've got another weapon here, the Reaping Scythe. It's going to be 2 damage after an enemy at range 1 to 2 moves. If it moved farther away from you, make a melee attack against that enemy. That's always a nice, fun mechanic. And if you're a Barbarian or Rogue, you got an enhanced critical to gain bleeding. We're going to go with some jewelry here. And we've got the Ring of Wishes. Charges 3. That must be what that symbol means. After a friendly character at range 0 to 5 rolls a die for any effect or attack, if the result is not a 1, before any other effects, you may remove a charge to re-roll and use the new result. Oh, so this is, you're more likely not to miss. Oh, unless, of course, you roll that terrible, terrible 1. I like that. All right, we've got a Volatile Flask. He's got the bottoms up ability, and it's going to discard, so that's you're going to consume it. You're going to roll a die. If it's 1 of 5, you gained poisoned. But hopefully you got the Ring of Wishes somewhere, right? Okay. Maybe your friend is going to help you roll a little bit better. This is what teamwork makes the dream work. 6 to 10, you gain an extra speed and invisible. 11 to 15, each enemy gains slow at range 1 to 5, slowed and weakened. 16 to 20, heal 5 and gain 3 XP. Oh, that's really cool. So I definitely want the Ring of Wishes. If I'm going to roll that, because I want to get that 3 XP and heal 5. That's really cool. All right, we've got some dust here. Displacement dust, chew charge, throw dust, spend a charge. Not a character or non-champion monster at range 0 to 1. Make a teleport. Oh, okay, a 3 range teleport. So you can. Oh, wait a second. Oh, so you can make somebody else teleport. I think that's what that's saying. Is I can basically have a friend do it. Right, 1 character at range 0 to 1. So somebody next to you, or potentially yourself. So that could be really useful. All right. This one is funny. They're using the potion there. A jar of pickled eggs. You can eat an egg to heal 1. Okay, this one's a little bit more simple. But I'm not eating that. I can't stand eggs. Eggs are gross. Wait, pickles are gross. Eggs are okay, but pickled eggs sound gross. Like in that concept, like scrambled eggs. I'm gonna take it, but I'll be honest. I've never had a pickled egg before. I think it would be gross. I just think it would be. I don't like pickles. Right? I'm not eating them. Here we go. We've got this guy. The Iyun Stone of Agility. I think that's how you would say that. The Iyun Stone. Oh, this is pretty good. +1 armor and +1 to hit with all of your ranged attacks. That's pretty awesome. And then we've got this one. The Eon Stone of Fortitude. Reduce the damage you take from all melee attacks by 1 to a minimum of 1, and +1 to hit with all of your melee. That's really good too. Then we have the Eon Stone of Insight. +1 speed and +1 to hit with all of your divine and magic attacks. And that is all of the loot from this really cool set. All right, everybody, that has been a look at the Benefactor scenario kit. There's plenty more. I didn't spoil all of the scenarios, so there's a lot more for you to play through and experience. But I think it's really cool the way that they've done this, keeping everything low and allowing you to to buy the optional miniatures if you want to do that, and reusing so much from the core set in a different way. I think it's a really great way to increase the value of the core set that you already have, giving you tons of new missions, whole new item card set. Don't mix these with your existing item cards though, guys. Remember to keep these separate, and it's just really, really cool. My main piece of feedback was I wish that there was a little bit, like an extra 2 millimeters thick, so we could have one more piece of cardboard that had proxies for our specialty monsters here. That would have been nice too. But even despite that, lots of really cool stuff here. Very clever designs and very cool stuff. A lot of really cool choices with the items. I really like that. I really love the eye rays reference. I think the Beholder is going to be super fun to fight. And it also kind of makes me want to put some of these into like my own custom stuff too. Like, hey, you know what? Like, let's take everybody against a Black Dragon and a Beholder in the same map and do like a deathmatch, deathmatch enhanced, custom scenarios is definitely something else I think you can do with that. And this is going to add to that as well, which would be really, really fun. But you don't have to do custom scenarios because there's 6 new ones right here for you to experience. So definitely check it out. I'll put a link in the description below if you want to check this out. And if you want to learn more about Dungeons & Dragons Onslaught and like how to play and all of that, I'm going to have links over here at the end of the video. All right, that's going to do it. Big thanks to WizKids for sending this out. Also, big thanks to all my patrons. You guys are amazing and help make this channel possible. I will talk to you later. May the Force be with you. Live long and prosper. Be excellent to each other. Party on, dudes. So say we all. The spice must flow. You can't take the sky from me. Always wash your socks and cowabunga.